second hour of Fire Your MD Now. Did I say that correctly? Did I say second hour? I think I did. It's the second hour of Fire Your MD Now. Come on. I know. Thank you very much. It was only a matter of time, really, before we dialed this. Oh, please, please. Oh, you're too generous. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're too kind. Too kind. Yeah, 2 hours of truth-telling, 2 hours of dragging your friends and family, church members and community members into the light of medical nutrition. Now, you know, we're all working stiffs in this country. Everybody has a JOB unless, of course, they're a longevity distributor. Not that easy to listen to a 1 hour program, but you can sneak in maybe 10, 15 minutes. If it's a 2 hour program, that's what I'm thinking. So tell everybody in your life about Fire Your MD Now. Please help us to spread our message of health recovery through science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition as far and as wide as quickly as possible. And if people just can't, handle the live broadcast because of prior commitments or their JOB, just dial them into the podcast. That's easy to do because after the show runs live, for the next 24 hours, it's podcastable. Just go to gcnlive.com, gcnlive.com. That's gcnlive.com. Click on the podcast button. Find my radio show in the lineup and click on the link, and the show plays right from start to finish. And, of course, if you're listening to the podcast now and would like information about the products, 855-347-3696. That's 855-347-3696. And if you'd like to speak with me, that number, of course, 866-582-9933. Abby is calling now with a question about something. Don't know what it is, but welcome aboard, Abby. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thanks for the call.
I'm locked up in my restroom because my daughter wouldn't let me talk on the phone. So you might hear me a little funny here.
That's all right.
I don't know if you remember me from Miami.
I do remember you from Miami. Yeah, you had the list of all of the things that you'd recovered from, right?
Yeah. And I'm not ready yet to provide my testimonial because I'm still getting better from a few things. So I want to wait a little bit. I'm just calling because a friend of mine, he doesn't speak English, but he told me his information is 185 pounds, and he has blepharitis.
Yeah.
And he also suffers from, he told me lately he's suffering from heartburn all the time, nonstop.
Yeah, okay. So the heartburn nonstop all the time, what we do when anybody has that is the recommendation, he's 185 pounds, so the recommendation, if he can afford it, is 2 healthy digestion packs per month. 2 healthy digestion packs per month. If he can't afford that, then have him do 1 healthy digestion pack and 1 extra bottle of Cal Toddy. So 1 healthy digestion pack and 1 bottle of Cal Toddy per month minimum. In order to help him get on the other side of that. Now, what he needs to do with his diet to help his body have a nice, strong, healthy digestive tract so the heartburn can disappear is he needs to start salting his food. He needs to just use normal table salt on his food to make the food taste good. And everybody says, well, Dr. Glidden, how do I know how much salt to use? Can't you overdo it with salt? Well, you can overdo it with salt. You can overdo it with anything, right? You can overdo it with water. You can overdo it with sunlight. Very, very easy to overdo it with prescription medication. Very, very difficult to overdo it with food, although it can be done. You really don't need to worry about too much salt. All you have to do is follow your body's lead. Just start salting your food, and if the food doesn't taste good, put a little more salt. If the food tastes too salty, well, back off a little bit. All you need to do is follow your taste buds in order to dial in the perfect amount of salt on your food every day. Heartburn is caused by stomach acid that's too weak, not stomach acid that's too strong. Medical doctors will tell you that heartburn is caused by too much stomach acid, and for 20 years I've been trying to get a medical professional to tell me how it's possible for the human stomach to make too much stomach acid. What's the mechanism that causes the body to make too much stomach acid, and nobody's been able to tell me. Because it doesn't. Your body, it's really hard for your body to make too much of anything. It's easy for your body to make not enough of something, and that's what happens when you get heartburn. When you get heartburn, your stomach acid is weak. Should be strong, but it's weak, and when your stomach acid is weak, all kinds of little bugs start to grow in your stomach because the stomach acid is so weak that they're able to live there, right? It's really not any different than if you had holes in your house and you lived in the woods, and all the mice are running into the house to get out of the cold weather. Well, why are they in the house? Because there's holes in the house. It's not because there's mice in the woods. It's because now they can get into the house, and now they can live in the house. Well, when your stomach acid is weak, the bacteria and the fungus that are, always present in the digestive tract in the body everywhere, well, they finally have a place to live. They can't live in a high acid bath, but they can live in a weak acid bath. And so that's what happens. And it's a side effect of the presence of those microorganisms that causes heartburn. It's got absolutely nothing to do with with too much stomach acid. It's 100% not enough. Now, what is it that makes the body have not strong enough stomach acid or not enough stomach acid? Not enough salt and not enough calcium. It's that simple. So when anybody's suffering from chronic heartburn, we recommend they increase their calcium supplementation and start salting their food. And when you give the other 90 essential nutrients, it really rounds that out nicely. Now, part of the Healthy Digestion Pack, Abby, is the ultimate enzymes. And the ultimate enzymes work best if taken at the beginning or before a meal. If you forget to take the enzymes and you're halfway through the meal, don't take them, because they will actually interfere with digestion if they're taken in the middle or at the end of the meal. They're best taken either at the very beginning or even better 10 or 15 minutes before you start to eat. So that's what I would do for that. And the blepharitis, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is fancy schmancy doctor talk for an inflammation of the eyelid. So what I would do to support and promote the health of the immune system in the face of inflammatory illness like that is I would get the colloidal silver, and I would get an eye cup. Go to the pharmacy, go to Walgreens or, wherever, and get a little eye cup. Looks like a little shot glass that's oval shaped. It looks like a little shot glass for, like an elf. Very, very small, and it's oval shaped. You put the colloidal silver in the eye cup. Bend over, put the eye cup up to your eye, and then it puts a little seal on the eye. You press it against your eye, and then you look straight up at the ceiling so that the stuff that's in the eye cup is now bathing your eye, and you open and close your eyelid 10, 15, 20 times to bathe your eye in whatever's in the eye cup, and in this case is going to be the colloidal silver. If he uses the colloidal silver in an eye cup, even just 3 times a day, the blepharitis should completely disappear in, 72 hours. It's a really easy thing to get on the other side of. And I love Youngevity's colloidal silver. They do a really good job with it. It's a Youngevity product, right? So there's BV in it. It's a really good, high-quality colloidal silver. And it's a great thing, by the way, to have in your medicine cabinet, because colloidal silver exerts antimicrobial activity. It kills virus, it kills germs, it kills bugs. And the more progressive burn units, burn hospitals, trauma centers around the world now are actually using sterile gauze soaked in colloidal silver to dress the wounds of burn victims in order to prevent secondary infections from happening. So colloidal silver is very good at killing bugs. And the main cause of blepharitis is a little infection up under the lid. So that's what I would do for that, Abby. Give him the Healthy Digestion Pack, a little extra calcium, and have him do the eye wash with the colloidal silver. And, starting in February, God willing, there's going to be a part of my website where people can go and submit their testimonials. We had some legal barriers to get over in putting this together, but we finally done it. And it's all going to be, 100% legitimate, 100% A-OK legally. It's going to be a place for anybody involved with longevity to go and submit their before and after testimonials. And by the way, Abby, if you've got before and after blood work, even better. Keep a hold of it. I'm looking forward to your testimony more than anything. I met Abby in Miami a couple months ago, ladies and gentlemen, and the stuff that he's recovered from with longevity will blow your mind. So keep up the good work, Abby. You are the last best hope that your community has for living long, healthy, and wealthy lives. You're doing a fantastic job down there in Miami, and I'm going to see you, I believe, in February. I'm coming back to Miami in February, so you've got about 6 weeks to spread the word. So when Dr. Glidden comes to town, we pack the house with about 1,000 people. Abby, thank you so much for the phone call. Now go out there, lend some more CDs, and show more people what we're doing, because what we're doing is a game changer. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're doing is akin to ending slavery. What we're doing is akin to telling people, hey, snap out of it. Women really are smart enough to vote. Hey, snap out of it. Childhood labor is a bad thing and you should stop it. Hey, snap out of it. Blacks aren't animals, they're people, and slavery is a bad thing. We're going against the cultural grain. The cultural grain is that the only medicine that's valid medicine is MD-directed pharmaceutical reductionistic medicine, and it's nonsense. MD-directed medicine is one piece of the medical pie, just one very small piece of the greater pie of medical science, and you've been hoodwinked by Big Pharma for the last 100 years to thinking that their way is the only way. Guess what? There's another way. Slavery is wrong. Childhood labor is wrong. Not letting women vote is wrong. And giving the MDs the run of the medical arena is wrong. Fire your MD now and give me a call. 866-582-9933. Here. It's weight loss week here at Fire Your MD Now. 33% of American adults are obese. Obesity has risen rapidly in our childhood population by 30% in the last 20 years. 600,000 people a year die because of obesity-related illnesses. And this really gets my goat because, medical doctors will tell you that obesity is the cause of a number of chronic illnesses. They'll tell you that high blood pressure. If you're obese, you're at greater risk for high blood pressure. If you're obese, you're at greater risk for asthma. If you're obese, you're at greater risk of heart disease. If you're obese, you're at a greater risk of type 2 diabetes and insomnia. And, the list goes on. And they've gotten it backwards because obesity doesn't cause these things. Obesity is another arm of the octopus that is caused by these things. Obesity, high blood pressure, osteoporosis, arthritis, type 2 diabetes, stroke, all of the things that are heart disease, all of the things that are supposed to be related to obesity aren't related to obesity. They're different arms of the same octopus, and when you trace those arms all the way back to the center is chronic nutrient deficiencies. If you're obese and you have high blood pressure, you don't have high blood pressure because you're obese. You have high blood pressure because your body doesn't have enough calcium, which makes you obese. Because when you don't have enough calcium, your body makes you eat in the desperate attempt to get calcium from the food. But the food doesn't have calcium in it, not in the amounts that you need, so you get high blood pressure. If you're obese and you have type 2 diabetes, you have type 2 diabetes not because you're obese, but because you have mineral deficiencies. And when you have mineral deficiencies, your body loses its ability to properly metabolize blood sugar. And when you don't have the nutrients necessary to metabolize blood sugar, your body is starving, and so your body makes you eat in the desperate attempt to fill the body's nutritional tank up. So you gain weight, and you continue to gain weight, You have $3,000, 3,000 calories at Olive Garden, and 3 hours later you're hungry again. And, this is how it goes. This is your cross, and you have to bear it. Actually, your cross is that you hired an MD for your health care. That's your real cross. And these are this is, to have a medical professional tell you that your high blood pressure was caused by your obesity. That's like having your medical professional tell you that your high blood pressure was caused by possession from an evil spirit, or your high blood pressure was caused by a particular conjunction of the stars, or your high blood pressure was caused by bad humors in the blood, and what we need to do in order to fix that is bleed you out. You wouldn't believe that. Well, you believe it in the 18th century because that's what they did, but you wouldn't believe it now. But when it comes to obesity and high blood pressure and heart disease, you let your MD get away with it. They tell you all of this nonsense, and you believe it. And it's utterly nonsense. While we have invested our respect, money, consideration, and mental integrity in conventional medicine, they've completely let us down. They have you over a barrel. They know that they have you over a barrel. They monopolize the medical market almost 100%. And because they've got the goods on everything, because they're the only place to go in town to buy medical care, you have to go there to buy medical care, and you're going to buy it even though it's substandard. And what do they do to maintain their position at the top? They tell you that I'm a quack. They tell you that the chiropractor is a quack. They tell you that the acupuncturist is a quack. They tell you that all of these other alternative, quote-unquote, therapies are unscientific, unproven, unclinically verified, and that's just a lie. Everything that we do is clinically verified and science-based. And then the MD has the audacity, after telling you that everybody but them is unscientific, they have the audacity to turn around and prescribe an off-label something for something. So they'll give you a high blood pressure medication for heartburn. They'll give you a high blood pressure medication for insomnia. They'll give you a pain medication for high blood pressure, right? They do stuff. They'll prescribe drugs for conditions that aren't that those drugs haven't been proven to be effective for. They haven't been certified to be okay to be used for those things. They do it all the time. It's called off-label prescribing. And, they're hypocrites when they do that. You can't have it both ways. Not if you're scientific. Not if you're trying to be scientific about it. And with medicine, it's all about science, right? It's all about science all of the time. And where does it lead us? Well, it leads us into a blind alley if we don't question them. And if we don't hold their feet to the fire. Most of us are just intimidated by anybody that knows anything about science because we think that's all above us. And we think that these people have something extra on us because, they know how to spell quark. That, they know vaguely in some dull recess of their mind something vague about Einstein and you don't. They know how to pronounce things like hyperpigmented vitiligo, and they use all these fancy schmancy doctor terms, and you're totally intimidated by that. Doctors speak Latin for their... All of these technical terms are in Latin for the same reason that the Catholic Church used to have the High Mass in Latin. It was to intimidate the uneducated populace. That's why they did it, to maintain their position at the top. So, you have trouble. You've got a sore throat. You've had a sore throat for a week. You're getting a little worried. You listen to the ridiculous commercials on TV that tell you, it could be strep and you could get a heart attack from it, and oh my God, be afraid, be very afraid, be really super duper afraid, don't go to sleep tonight. And you hear this nonsense over and over and over again. So you make an appointment and you go and see your doctor. So, if you have insurance, it costs you what, $75 for a copay or whatever. If you don't have insurance, it's going to be a $200 doctor visit. Or, you go to the emergency room. Don't go to the emergency room unless you're bleeding. That's $1,000 as soon as you walk in the door. $1,000. You're transported there anywhere in an ambulance, it's at least $800, right? it's a for-profit medical system. So you're in these guys' office, and now you have this sore throat for a week. And, the nurse sits you down, makes you put the gown on. Now you feel really, vulnerable, right? So you're sitting there on that cold exam table with the fluorescent lights around you, all these medical charts on the wall. You've got the thermometer up your butt. You've got the gown on. You're totally vulnerable. You're there for 5, 10, 15 minutes, and finally the doctor walks in, takes your vitals, looks at the vitals from the nurse, looks you up and down, asks you, well, what seems to be the problem? Well, doc, I have a sore throat. The doctor, puts his little eyepiece on, takes his scope. Oh, you open your mouth, puts the tongue depressor down, looks around, makes you go, takes a cotton swab, jams it down the back of your throat, makes you, gives you so much immediate pain that your head pops off the top of your head, swabs the back of your throat, very uncomfortable. Takes the swab out, puts it in a little vial, sends it off to a lab, and tells you, after looking at you for about 5 minutes, that you have pharyngitis. Oh, holy smokes, doc, I have pharyngitis. What could that be? Well, pharyngitis is Latin for sore throat. That's what it means. It's Latin for sore throat. Or they tell you that you have arthritis. Well, what's arthritis? That's Latin for joint pain. Well, holy smokes, doc, I knew I had joint pain before I came in here. What are you telling me? You're not telling me anything new. Because they don't tell you anything new. It's the rare person that has, a nasty strep infection. If you've got a strep infection, you know you have a strep infection. It's the rare person that has, pityriasis rosacea, and that's what's causing their vision to go bad. These peculiar and arcane illnesses are rare and peculiar, and most people don't get them, not in the United States. You're throwing good money after bad when you visit a medical doctor for a chronic health condition, because they're going to waste your money, they're going to waste your time, they're going to do unnecessary expensive lab testing that's going to lead them down a wild goose path. Remember I talked to Dr. Wallach at the beginning of last week, and we talked about mammograms? And how 30% of the mammograms give false negatives, that, over 70,000 misdiagnoses of breast cancer were made last year. Over 70,000 misdiagnoses of breast cancer, which led to radical mastectomies and all this fear and concern in all these women. And why were they misdiagnosed? Because the diagnostic stuff is not perfect. And if you look hard enough, long enough, deep enough, you're going to find something wrong with all of your diagnostic nonsense. If you take the body apart to a very, very small level, you're going to find something that seems to you like it's out of whack. Now, whether that part of the body that's being out of whack has any negative effect on your health is up for question. 70,000 cases of breast cancer misdiagnosed? You got to be kidding me. I mean, that's unacceptable. That's completely unacceptable. Would, quite frankly, be acceptable if there was some type of legitimate treatment for breast cancer. Even if there was a legitimate treatment for breast cancer, those numbers would be unacceptable. But my point is, when you go to the medical doctor's office, you are in for it because they're going to test you until they find something wrong with you. And if they don't find something wrong with you, they're going to call you a psychiatric case. They're not going to blame their incompetence. They're going to blame it on you, or they're going to blame it on your father, or they're going to blame it on your mother, saying that it's a genetic problem. It can't be the doctor's incompetence. It has to be your fault. You're overweight, not because the doctor doesn't know a damn thing about medical nutrition, but because your stomach's too big. You're overweight because you don't exercise enough. You're overweight because you're lazy. You're overweight because the moon is in your 7th house. I don't know. It's got nothing to do with any of that. Stop giving your respect, your time, and your money to medical professionals with MDs after their name. The only thing these people are good for is trauma care and surgery when it's absolutely necessary. But listen, when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? So if you're a surgeon, guess what you're going to advise somebody to do? Surgery. You know, all the time we see people, they go in for exploratory surgery. You know, I got this vague pain in my stomach, doc. I got this, that, or the other thing. They go in and they yank the uterus, they yank the appendix, they yank the gallbladder, not because there was anything wrong with them, but because you don't really need those anyway, and it's only a matter of time before they go south. If it was up to the MDs, we'd all be like the Borg. We'd be half human and half machine. You know, we'd have mechanical eyes, we'd have mechanical hearts, we'd have mechanical everything. Half man, half machine. This is the epitome of MD reductionistic, pharmaceutical centrist, allopathic medicine. Because for goodness sake, the body has no inherent wisdom. The body has no inherent intelligence. And when you're sick, your only option is to take drugs to manage the problem until it gets so bad that the mighty surgeon comes in and replaces your human heart with a pig heart, a baboon heart, or worse yet, a mechanical heart, or holy smokes, they take your stomach out, give you a gastric bypass, because that's why you're overweight, dearie. Your stomach's too big. Don't believe it, ladies and gentlemen. Fire your MD now. Fire your MD. About weight loss this month, or this week, to kick off the new year. You know, losing weight is the number one resolution of everybody. It comes before having more time with the kids. It comes before having more fun in your life. People want to lose weight. Why do they want to lose weight? Because weight gain is a big deal. Why is weight gain a big deal? Because everybody's gone to MDs for medical care. Weight gain is a medical condition. It's not a condition of life. It's not built into life. It's a medical condition. When you have a rampant medical condition, an epidemic of sorts, it's the medical profession's fault if it continues, and weight gain is skyrocketing in this country. It's your MD's fault. It's got to be somebody's fault. But, you know, they're going to tell you it's your mother's fault. It's your fault. It's not their fault. Don't believe them. So what do we do in order to help people get on the other side of, weight gain and help their body approximate a healthy body weight easily? Well, it's easy. We do one healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month, one bottle of plant-derived minerals per 100 pounds of body weight per month, one bottle of ultimate selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, and one bottle of Prohoba Slim per 100 pounds of body weight per month. That's the best place to start. Get those products, use the Prohoba Slim, take the nutritional supplements, the Healthy Start Pack, the selenium, twice a day in divided doses, take it in twice a day in divided doses, and use the plant-derived minerals and the Prohoba Slim between meals to curb your appetite while your body is getting used to dialing in 1,200 calories a day. And this is your job, but not until the second month. In the first month, all I want you to do is get comfortable taking those nutritional supplements and eliminating the 10 bad foods from your diet. So we eliminate wheat, barley, rye, and oats, oil in a bottle, fried food, well-done red meat, meat that has nitrates added as preservatives, the skins of baked potatoes, yams, and sweet potatoes, and we completely stop doing anything that has carbonated bubbles in it with a meal. No carbonated beverages with a meal, not even if it's Dom Perignon. So we do that for the first 4 weeks. Clean up the diet, eliminate the 10 bad foods, and get comfortable taking the nutritional supplements on a regular basis. Starting on month number 2, and just doing that, you'll lose weight, just like Matt did. He wasn't even trying, didn't even think he was losing weight, but his body was losing weight slowly and surely. And in this arena, slow and steady wins the race every single time. So, for the first 4 weeks, that's what you do. Then, starting on week number 6, you dial in 1,200 calories a day. 1,200 calories a day. There's all kinds of calorie counters and apps and stuff you can get for your phone and for your computer, and it's a lot easier now to figure out what 1,200 calories a day looks like than it ever was before. You don't even have to join Jenny Craig's or Weight Watchers to get their equipment. Just go online, download the app for your smartphone, for goodness sake. Get comfortable with understanding what 1,200 calories a day looks like. And then commit yourself from that day moving forward to 1,200 calories a day. Use the Prohoba Slim and the plant-derived minerals between meals to curb your appetite while your body's getting used to 1,200 calories a day. And as a little treat, if you'd like to, starting in month number 3, you can add the Slender FX meal replacement shake. The Slender FX meal replacement shake. And it comes in vanilla and chocolate. It's a longevity product. If you use the shake and 2 glasses of milk, it's only 300 calories. 105 calories, 105 calories, 2 glasses of milk, and 1 serving of the shake. It's vanilla or chocolate. That will really help your body to feel comfortable inside of the 1,200 calorie a day diet. And if you do 1,200 calories a day plus the nutritional supplements, you're going to lose 1 pound to 2 pounds a week. It's going to be slow and steady. Your energy's going to be good. Your sleep's going to be good. Life is going to be good. And then when you lose all of the weight necessary, you call your doctor up and say, "Hey, doc, I have an eye problem." "What's the problem?" he's going to say. "I can't see you anymore, you knucklehead. You're fired."